There was a lot of action in Avengers Infinity War, but there were also some important moments and new friendships and rivalries being formed. We've been wondering just how Carol Danvers would fit in with the remaining Avengers and Guardians, and it seems like we got a glimpse of this in the latest ENDGAME trailer. We'll talk about why Captain Marvel and Thor could be the perfect matchup and what this could mean weapon-wise for the next movie. When you're maintaining a cinematic universe the size of the MCU, you have to pay attention to the details, if for no other reason than the fact that there are tons of fans out there carefully scrutinizing every last aspect of Marvel movies. The point is, nothing in the MCU happens by accident. Even something as seemingly innocuous as two characters teaming up has a ton of meaning behind it. This is one of the reasons we were so excited to see Captain Marvel show up in the latest trailer for Avengers Endgame. So finally, we escaped from the anti-Captain Marvel time loop we were caught in, and she appeared at the very end of the latest trailer. At first glance, her interaction with Thor may have seemed kind of strange, but there was a lot of subtext at play. We saw Thor summon Stormbreaker in much the same way he used to summon Mjolnir. Rest in pieces, sweet Uru Hammer. Only he summoned Stormbreaker uncomfortably close to Carol Danvers' head. It seems like he was trying to test her resolve by seeing how she reacted to having an immensely powerful magical weapon zipping mere inches from her face, and she reacted much better than any of us would have, without the slightest bit of high-pitched screaming or cowering. She remained impressively stoic, which caused Thor to exclaim that he likes her. It's no secret Asgardians respect strength, sometimes to the exclusion of all else. At first glance, it seems kind of like Thor was trying to intimidate Carol, but that doesn't really feel like it's keeping within his character. It's more likely he was simply trying to see if she was capable of keeping up the fight against Thanos, and the answer was a clear and resounding yes. This could all point to one of the more perfect team-ups in the history of the MCU. During Avengers Infinity War, Thor ended up working extensively with Rocket Raccoon in one of those carefully cultivated MCU partnerships. According to Joe Russo, the pairing made perfect sense. Thor was at his lowest point, having now lost his entire family and was emotionally devastated. When he could most use a shoulder to cry on, he ended up with, well, possibly one of the least empathetic characters in the galaxy. The Rocket Raccoon and Thor pairing was great and straddled the line between completely tragic and hysterically funny. We saw some flashbacks of Thor with his once enviable golden locks sharing a moment with his father Odin. We know Thanos has a well-deserved reputation for the worst father in the MCU, but Odin's no peach either. Thor and Odin have had a complicated relationship over the course of their time in the MCU. When Odin wasn't preparing Thor for the throne and neglecting Loki, he was exiling Thor for not bending to his will. After Odin perished, things started to finally get better between Thor and Loki before Thanos had to step in and muck all that up. Carol Danvers is another character who has some serious issues with her own father. In her standalone movie Captain Marvel, we didn't learn too much about him, but through flashbacks, we get the feeling he was kind of a huge jerk. Captain Marvel and Thor are two characters who both feel an immense amount of responsibility for those around them. Thor is charged with protecting the remaining Asgardians, and Captain Marvel is determined to right the wrongs perpetuated by the Kree. They both have complicated relationships, to say the least, with their families, and instead rely on the platonic relationships and friendships they've been able to make. Although they'll be meeting for the first time in Avengers Endgame, it seems like they already have a lot in common. Plus, as we heard Thor awkwardly explain to Valkyrie during Ragnarok, we know he fully supports female warriors. It makes us wonder how Thor would react if Captain Marvel aimed an energy blast to blow past his head. As far as their physical characteristics go, these two are also a great match. No, we're not shipping them, at least not yet. We're just talking about their ability to stand beside each other in battle. Thor and Captain Marvel are two of the most physically powerful characters in the MCU and shouldn't have trouble keeping up with one another. In one allegedly leaked piece of concept art from Endgame, we saw an axe which looked suspiciously like one Captain Marvel wielded during the Fear Itself storyline in the comic books. Could Carol Danvers wield a weapon made of the famous Asgardian Uru metal? Thor has said few possess the strength and fortitude to do so, but we're guessing Carol Danvers qualifies. Captain Marvel is already incredibly powerful without an Uru weapon, so we have to imagine she'd be pretty much unstoppable with one. But as we learned during Infinity War, forging one isn't exactly simple. Many fans have been caught up in whether our mortal heroes, namely Captain America and Iron Man, are going to survive Endgame. But let's not forget all of those new friendships being forged and those who will need to continue on to fight the good fight and protect the MCU. What do you think's going to happen between Thor and Captain Marvel during Endgame? Are they destined to be BFFs, or would you rather see them working separately? Let us know what you think in the comments section and click on the subscribe button for more videos from CBR. As always, thanks for watching.